There have been three different stations in the area of Filton Abbey Wood. The first, Filton, opened in 1863 just north of the site of the current Filton Abbey Wood station and was closed in 1903. A second station was opened a few hundred yards to the north and was known as Filton Junction. This station was closed in 1996 and replaced with the current station, Filton Abbey Wood. The first station at Filton opened on the 8th of September 1863 when services began to Bristol and South Wales Union Railway, which ran from Bristol Temple Meads to New Passage Pier, north of Bristol on the banks of the River Severn. At New Passage, passengers were transferred to a ferry to cross the Severn and continue on into Wales. The line, engineered by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, was built at single track 7 foot 1/4 inch broad gauge with a platform on the western side of the line. The station was situated in Gloucestershire, 4 miles and 53 chains from Bristol Temple Meads and immediately south of a modern bridge over the A417 Avon Ring Road. The BSWUR was amalgamated with the Great Western Railway, who had from the beginning operated all their services. In 1868 and in 1873 the line was converted to standard gauge. Although the line made travel from Bristol and Wales easier, the change from train to ferry and back to train was inconvenient, and so a tunnel was built under the River Severn. To cope with the anticipated increase in demand, the line through Filton was doubled, and with a new platform built on the eastern side of the new track, complete with a waiting room. The new track was first used on the 1st of September 1886, when the Severn Tunnel was opened. The station continued in use until the 1st of July 1903, when it was closed and replaced with a new station 11 chains further north. There is currently no trace remaining of the original station. In 1900, almost all trains from London to Bristol travelled via Bath and Bristol, with some still routed via Gloucester. However, the final 15 miles to Bristol were relatively slow and congested, so a new route was built further north, the Great Western Railway's Badminton Line, now part of the South Wales Main Line running from Wootton Bassett Junction to Patchway. The new line opened in 1903 and allowed fast services to Wales. There was a new triangular junction between Patchway and Filton Abbey Wood, with the new line coming in from the east. The new station opened on the 1st of July 1903, was on an embankment at the southern apex of the junction, just north of the present A4174. It was 11 chains north of the first station, 4 miles 64 chains from Bristol Temple Meads, and 112 miles 67 chains from London Paddington via the new line. The new station had 4 platform faces, 2 outer platforms and 2 inner platforms, sharing an island between the southbound line from Patchway and the westbound line to London. The westbound platform served trains between Bristol and Wales, while the eastern platform served trains on the new line. The platforms were linked by a subway which led to the booking office, situated on ground level by the main entrance to the eastern side of the station. The approach road led south to the main entrance towards the A4174, and there were waiting rooms and large canopies on each of the platforms. There were also goods facilities to the south of the road on the west side of the line, covering the site of the first station. There was a goods shed with a loading platform on a passing loop, as well as a north-facing covered loading platform and a south-facing shed. An additional south-facing side of the coal traffic was added after the First World War. Opposite the goods yard was Filton Junction signal box, which was controlled the junction, and by 1948 had more than 70 levers. Following the opening of the Henbury Loop line, which diverged from the line towards Wales, 3 chains to the north of the station was renamed Filton Junction from the 1st of May 1910. Trains on these lines used the western platforms and often operated loop services from Bristol Temple Meads via Clifton Downs. From 1928, trains could also run on the loop lines via Clifton Downs, Severn Beach and Patchway. As well as being useful for passengers changing trains due to its junction status, Filton Junction was also used by workers for the nearby Filton Aerodrome and the attendant aircraft works. When the railway was nationalised in 1948, Filton Junction came under the aegis of the western region of British Railways. Following the publication of the Beecher Report, the Henbury line was closed to passengers in 1964, and service levels began to decline. The line between Pilning and Severn Beach was also closed, putting an end to loop services, and the goods yard was closed in 1965, with the station name reverted back to Filton on the 6th of May 1968. Much of the station's buildings was demolished by 1976, as there were platforms serving the Badminton Line trains, and no trains called at Filton anymore. The remaining two platforms had small replacement shelters built on them. In 1974, when a Local Government Act 1972 came into effect, the southern part of Gloucestershire, which included the district of Filton, became part of the new county of Avon. British Rail then split business-led sectors in 1980, with which time operations of Filton passed to regional railways. In the 1990s, plans were made to built a new station in Filton and closed the 1903 station. The last train called on the 8th of March 1996, with services moving to the new Filton Abbey Wood station from the 11th of March, with 2 intervening days due to no services being closure of Severn Tunnel. The remains of Filton Junction can still be seen from passing trains, and the 2 western-bound platforms are still present, albeit overgrown. The subway has been blocked off, and the access road is now a residential street called the Sidings. In the early 1990s, the Ministry of Defence Procurement Division was consolidated into a major office development in Filton, known as the MOD Abbey Wood. As part of this development, a new station was built in Filton primarily to serve the MOD workers. Construction began in 1995 at a cost of £1.4 million. The station, named Filton Abbey Wood, was opened to the public on the 11th of March 1996 and officially opened on the 19th of March by the Minister of Transport Stephen Norris and the chair of Avon County Council. Shortly after the station was opened, the county of Avon was disbanded, and Filton region now governed by Southern Gloucestershire Council. The new station is situated 23 chains south of the first Filton station and 34 chains south of Filton Junction. There are 2 platforms, each 108 metres long, separated by 2 running lines, a ramped footbridge connecting both of the platforms at the north end, and each platform had ground access from the sides. The eastern and southbound platforms from the MOD Abbey Wood, the western northbound platform via a footbridge from the car park to the north. There are metal and glass shelters on each platform and a small, rarely used booking office on the southbound platform. Initially, services at line included local stopping services from Bristol to South Wales and services between Gloucester and Westbury. Services towards Bath were particularly important for the MOD, as many of their staff have been now based there due to the prior construction of the MOD Abbey Wood. South Gloucestershire Council provided a subsidy for a half-hourly service to Bath. The station proved popular with MOD workers, local residents commuting into central Bristol, and also students and staff at the University of West of England. When the railway was privatised in 1997, local services were transferred to the Wales and West, which was succeeded by Wessex Trains in 2001. The line through Filton closed for 2 weeks in June 2004 to enable construction of a new platform, and the third running line of the west of the station, separating trains towards Bristol Parkway from the new trains towards Wales before the station, so allowing through trains to pass the stopping trains. The project cost £16 million and caused a complete suspension of the Severn Beach Line services to allow longer distance services to use it as a diversion. The Wessex franchise was amalgamated into the Great Western franchise in 2006, and responsibility for the station passed to First Great Western, which was subsequently rebranded Great Western Railway in 2015. First introduced new services between Bristol Parkway and Weston-super-Mare and between Cardiff and Taunton, each calling at Filton Abbey Wood. From December 2006, Virgin Cross Country began operating a single daily service from Newcastle to Cardiff Central via Bristol Temple Meads and Filton Abbey Wood. This service was taken over by Arriva Cross Country when the Cross Country franchise changed hands in 2007 and replaced by a daily service in each direction between Cardiff Central and Manchester Piccadilly. A 3-week closure of the line and the station in late October and early November 2018 saw all trains replaced by buses between Bristol Parkway and Bristol Temple Meads and on the Severn Beach branch, whilst the 4-track layout between Dr Days Junction and Filton Junction was reinstated, also bringing a new 4th platform at Filton Abbey Wood into use, and short extensions to the southern end of the platforms to accommodate 5 carriage metres, all 23 metres in length. So let's get started then, and getting ready to work in ECS to Bristol Parkways to return later on is 166208. Next train to arrive into the station is 166204, working the 1207 Great Western Railway service from Cardiff Central to Port of Harbour. And departing in the opposite direction is 158769 and 158765, with the 1207 Great Western Railway service from Port of Harbour to Cardiff Central. Returning ECS from Bristol Parkway to form the 1213 Great Western Railway service to Bristol Temple Meads is 166208. Next train into the station is 158950, working the 1220 Great Western Railway service from Great Malvern to Brighton. Coming working around the corner, working 5 Charlie 99 from Reading Train Care Depot to Penzance TRSMD is 57603. Next around the corner is 220013, working the 1 Victor 50 from Edinburgh Waverley to Plymouth. Next train out is 43093 and 43171, working the 1237 Great Western Railway Castle service from Penzance to Cardiff Central. Next train up is 221139 and 220029, working 1 Sierra 47 from Bristol Temple Meads to Glasgow Central. And here comes our train in the form of 165127, working the 1246 Great Western Railway service from Brighton to Worcester Falkirk Street. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed what you saw, click on the 2 videos here at the end screen. Helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are new and got this far. And we'll see you all in the next video, folks, wherever that may take us. We'll see you then, folks.